I'm Dr. Andrew Allen from Georgia College, and that was the waltz from this year's All-State Etudes for Symphonic Band for tenor saxophone. Now, the waltz doesn't have a lot of crazy technical considerations, but there are a lot of musical considerations in this part of the etude. For instance, you have a lot of dynamic contrast spread throughout a very wide range. So you have a forte going down to mezzo forte in the beginning, and then you have a lot of open space with a mezzo forte. So play around with a little bit of shaping. Go up with the line, go down with the line. Don't go completely out of bounds, and make sure that you're thinking about the big picture. Now, speaking of the big picture, you need to think very carefully about phrasing in this part of the audition materials. It's not written in a way where the phrases are immediately obvious, and I'm not saying the way that I just performed them is the only way. But let that be an initial guide. See what you liked about what I did, see what you don't like, and make up your own mind, but make sure that you have a plan. Because if you just breathe whenever you want to in this example, it's not necessarily going to work. Also, be thinking about the waltz idea itself. Make sure that clearly in every one of these beats we hear strong, weak, weak, strong, weak, weak, whenever you have more than that dotted quarter. Now, listen as I perform the Fiero. In the Fiero, you don't necessarily have a lot of odd fingering combinations, but what you do have, again, are some odd considerations in terms of phrasing. So as you get into the etude especially in the last few lines, you have a decent number of rests. Now, you could separate each one of those, and then the phrase would go nowhere. So make sure that energy is going through rests in this example, and that you're thinking very carefully about where you do and do not want to breathe. Also be thinking very carefully about how you're using those accents. Do you have a really nice contrast between your staccatos and your accents and your tenutos in this example? Because that's extremely important. Also, make sure that you don't let this get out of hand. Fiero means fiery, but it doesn't mean out of control. So just make sure that you remain absolutely confidently in control throughout. And that this has a certain amount of swagger and confidence, not anxiety. I hope that my performances and these few comments have helped you in your journey as you are working on these. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or anything else, please reach out to me. andrew.allen@gcsu.edu, through my website, through YouTube. However you want to get a hold of me, please do. I would love to give you a free lesson, meet with you in person or online. But until we meet, best of luck and happy practicing.